All right, so Eroll Spence fires back at Blair Cobbs and call him a 33-year-old prospect that looks up to Ric Flair. Now, before I get started on this, there's something I gotta say right quick. Not only do you Canelo Alvarez fans don't know shit about boxing, but you obviously can't read, because only a retard would take what Eroll Spence said, okay, and think that he's trying to attack or talk about Canelo Alvarez. You guys have no fucking common sense. That's why nobody wants you on their fucking channel. That's why the only place where you guys are welcome is Canelo fanboy channels, because y'all add nothing to boxing. You don't know shit about boxing. You obviously can't fucking read, and you're nothing but a fucking distraction. All y'all do is go around and gang stalk people about Canelo Alvarez, even when they're not even talking about Canelo Alvarez. Y'all motherfuckers need to go take a seat somewhere. I swear to God, y'all annoying as fuck. All right, now let's get back to what Eroll Spence said about Blair Cobbs. Now, initially from Jump Street, the shit seemed funny. But with me, it's not what you say, it's what you don't say, okay? Now, Eroll Spence went out here and responded to Blair Cobbs, okay? But this is the funny part, okay? He wants to diss Blair Cobbs as a 33-year-old prospect, okay? Then can somebody explain to me why Eroll Spence was quick, fast, and in a hurry to respond to this 33-year-old prospect, but you couldn't get a response like that from Eroll Spence when Terrence Crawford was on Twitter dropping bombs on his ass?
I'm looking for you, Eroll. Where you at? I'm in the ocean. You say you the big fish. I'm looking for you. Where your ass at? Oh, whole ass. Well, you got a lot of room to hide in this motherfucker. I don't know if I can find you in the ocean.
He was so silent to the point he had to release this tweet. Now tell me, do you remember it? He said, people think silence is a form of weakness, because when Terrence Crawford was out here talking his shit 100 miles an hour, Eroll Spence wasn't saying shit. Now, if Blair Cobbs is just a 33-year-old prospect, how come you didn't have that same attitude of being silent on him like you was silent on Crawford? So you gonna respond to this damn 33-year-old prospect, but you don't want to say nothing to Terrence Crawford and then try to act like this guy is nobody? If he's nobody, then why the fuck you respond to him? Why didn't you respond like that when Terrence Crawford was getting at you? But instead, you fell super silent, which further proves what Blair Cobbs was talking about. That shit don't make no sense to me. You could have gave Blair Cobbs the same treatment that you was giving Terrence Bud Crawford, not saying shit and being silent. Because, you know, people think silence is a form of weakness. You know what I'm saying? And you saying that's not the case. But yet Blair Cobbs ran his mouth and you got something to say. You should have just ignored him, just like you was doing Terrence Bud Crawford. Because after all, like Eroll Spence said, he's just a 33-year-old prospect. So why respond to him? That's just how my brain thinks. Period. Now, the other thing about it is he tried to diss him because he looks up to Ric Flair. Okay? But it's a comment here that I found interesting, and that's actually true. Okay? It actually benefits him that he looks up to somebody like Ric Flair, a boxer imitating a wrestler. Okay? Because at least he understands the aspect of promoting himself. Something that Eroll and Terrence Bud Crawford don't know how to do. I'm just saying. All because a boxer looked up to a wrestler. I wonder who else did that. Muhammad Ali looked up to Gorgeous George, a boxer looking up to a wrestler. Why did he do that? He took the wrestler formula of the mouthpiece and transferred it over to boxing. This is why Muhammad Ali is one of the most prolific talkers in boxing today. So I don't think necessarily looking up to Ric Flair is a bad thing. Shit, Ric Flair is a legend in the fucking wrestling world. What are you talking about? You know, that's benefiting him. So I wouldn't look at it as a diss. Once again, that's just how I think. But at the same time, I look at what people don't say. Only thing Blair Cobbs did, everything he said is what we all were thinking. Facts. Everything, what he said was not original. Everything he said, somebody had said at another time someplace else. They just wasn't as vocal about it. It didn't catch the eyes, ears, and all the attention it got. But he said everything that we all think. He don't look the same. You believe he's scared of Terrence Bud Crawford. You believe that crash took something out of him. Eroll Spence just don't look right. It's something in his eye. Something. You know how many times I heard that? Blair Cobbs ain't said nothing that you ain't heard nobody else said. What he said was not original. It's just his delivery was such, it just got the attention it did. You know what I'm saying? And about calling him a 33-year-old prospect, well, let me put this comment up right here. Now that's funny because that's accurate. So anybody want to sit up here and talk about Blair Cobbs, you might need to look at the future of boxing because his ass ain't had one significant legacy fight. I've been said this. Jamal Charlo has done absolutely nothing. Nothing. They're like, yeah, but he a champ though. And all that. Come on, I can hear the excuses. A champ that has done nothing. Literally nothing. So if you're going to clown Blair Cobbs, you better go ahead and get the future of boxing in that joke. I'm just saying. But most importantly, and I'm going to say it again, it's not what you say, it's what you don't say. Blair Cobbs called you a full-blown coward. And you scared of Terrence Bud Crawford. If you were going to respond to this 33-year-old prospect who obviously don't mean nothing to you, then you should have addressed at least what was most important about what he said. Okay? And this is what I'm talking about. It's not that Eroll Spence ducked. It's how he ducked. The I'ma chill on my ranch. The we'll see. The he's across the street. Go get a belt. Sean Porter got a belt too. I fight for Showtime or ESPN or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't fight on this network. All this shit we never heard before. You said everything but addressing the fact and saying ain't nobody scared of no Terrence Bud Crawford. When his time come, I'ma dog walk his ass too. That's how you respond. Instead of saying he's a 33-year-old prospect that looks up to Ric Flair. Not denying that he's scared of Terrence Bud Crawford. Not denying that he ducked Terrence Bud Crawford. Not denying that the crash and took something out of him. Not denying that he don't look the same. But I can hear it right now. Why does he even got to defend himself against Blair Cobbs? Okay, I'll agree with you. Then why even respond to him? If you ignore the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world, how come you can't ignore this 33-year-old prospect? Simple and motherfucking plain. Okay? Now, y'all think about that for a second and really ask yourself, does that add up? Of course it doesn't. But then again, I guess I'm the only one to think this way. Bruce Vane, I'm out.